Hello guys, it's nice meeting you all. So my name is Mahdi. My background is a PhD in engineering with a focus on energy systems. But my research background in the last 12, 13 years has been more on the computational physics side of things, and recently using AI and machine learning to simulate and model complex physical systems. Now, the proposal that we have proposed, and I want to share my screen here. So I will go like this. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
And my computer is gonna be slow. So just 1 second. No, sorry, that's not that shape. Okay, so you can, how can I go slideshow? Okay, all right. So what we have proposed, the proposal is about building a generative AI decision-making advisor. And what that means, we will get to it momentarily. The first use case for such a software it can be making electricity generation in, for example, power plants more green. And by more green, I mean generating electricity in a way that produces less carbon emissions. And this is particularly an important problem because the amount of electricity that we generate using fossil fuels will continue to remain high for the next 3 decades. For example, in the US alone, the ratio of electricity generated from fossil fuels such as gas or coal to the total amount of electricity generated, that ratio will remain above 40% until 2050. So it's not that we are in a situation where we will get rid of all fossil fuel generated electricity. We are not in that situation. And this is particularly important, this problem is because fossil fuel power plants, their efficiency, their operational efficiency is not high at all. In the US, for example, again, the average efficiency of a power plant is about 32%. What that means is that the amount of electricity that you get from the plant is only 30% of the energy that you put in. In other words, this power plant operates in a situation which wastes 70% of the energy that is input to it. So now what we want to do, we want to build a software that improves the operational efficiency of power plants. How does it do that improvement? It does so by allowing the operators make better decisions on how to run the plant. As an example of the decisions that I am talking about here, imagine a very, very, very simple power plant that has 2 units. And imagine that you are the operator of this plant and you have already committed to generating a certain amount of electricity at a certain point in time. For example, 10 kilowatt per hour tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's a commitment that you have and you have to satisfy. Otherwise, you will be penalized. Now, the very, very basic question that you have to answer is that how much of that load that you have committed to deliver to the network should you generate by unit number 1, and how much of it should you generate by unit number 2. This is a decision that is the operator of that plant you need to make. And this will be very important in determining this efficiency that I was talking about. If you make better decisions, then the efficiency will be higher. That means that you will be able to satisfy your commitments using less fuel, which means that you will generate less carbon emissions.
Okay.
We want to build a software that allows
Mahdi,
operators.
you're over your 5 minutes. You're exceeding your 5 minutes, so I'm going to need you
Okay.
to please stop at this point.